sure we live on the live chat. If we need to turn it up, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. We are here. K-Bum is in the building. Keith Norris is in the building. I'm live on the internet. How we sounding? I need some ones, some twos, some threes. How we sounding? We finna get into this thing. Let's go. It's about to get live. We keep it pretty level, no surprise. Come and listen to the topics busted. Yeah, check out our discussion. Keith Norris and D2K. K-Bum 20 on the MIC. Jet Eye Night all the way in Germany. Leveled head, you know who that boy be. What they say, live and level, live and level. We on that MIC, live and level, live and level. We just talking them games, live and level, live and level. Take a seat and listen up, man. Live and level, live and level. What's up, what's up, what's up, people? This is your boy Levelhead, back with another live and level gamers podcast, episode 218. We are in here. We are in here. Everything is happening. I don't know what to do. What's up, fellas? What's up? Make some noise. We are here. We are here. We are here. We are here. We are excited. We are loud. We all in your ears. So, anyway, we are here to have a good discussion. What's up, fellas? We got K-Bum. We got Keith. We got the crew -1. So, or 2. So, what's good? Been a couple of weeks since we jumped on here. You know what I'm saying? Been a couple weeks. Y'all quiet. Y'all ain't got nothing to say? Do we just need to jump into what we've been gaming on?
No, I'm trying to listen to us. We sound kind of low on this end, so I'm just trying to listen to it to see how low we sound.
Let me see where y'all
That's
at.
all that is.
Keep talking.
My bad, y'all. Driving back home, but we got an hour before I get there, so.
Got a good little drive, huh, brother?
Yeah. All right. Yeah, it's getting dark. I hate that. Well, I guess it ain't twilight, but you know that when it's getting dark.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Well, be safe out there, brother.
I will.
Being distracted with the podcast, got you drive off the road now.
It might make me focus.
Nice. I feel you.
All right, K Bones. Now I think I got you. I figured out what was going on. What's up, Mr. Tiger King? Welcome to the show. We are happy for you to be here with us. K Bum, keep talking so I can know. And if we sound good, Tiger King, let us know, man. Put a 1 in the comment section. I mean, down in the you're a fine level, but everyone else is low to me. All right, it should change here shortly. So, K-Bum, go ahead and keep saying, check your mic. You should be able to hear yourself pretty good now because I can see you coming up.
Okay.
Yeah, you should be straight.
Tiger King, let me know if I sound good because I can't listen to the podcast and talk at the same time because it's going to cause a feedback. So I won't do that.
All right, he said good now. So good. We are in here. Yeah. All right, so anyway, we're here to talk about these games. But before we get into that, do y'all want to talk about anything? Did y'all get to go see Black Widow? Did you finish Loki?
we gotta talk about the top thing on the shelf first. We gotta talk about the NBA championship first. Let's go ahead and get that out the way because that's probably the biggest thing that has happened in the past couple of days.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and get that on out the way.
All right.
Since we are some basketball fans here. So.
Since you opened up the doors, Mr. K Bum, go ahead and give me how you feels about Giannis Antetokounmpo. I don't know how to say it. Can you see me try to get through there? Giannis Antetokounmpo. I don't know how to say it. So anyway, what you feel about that win, man, over Chris Paul and the Suns?
I thought it was over after game 2, bro. I thought the Suns had their number. The Suns looked good. Giannis and the Bucks weren't playing great basketball the first 2 games. I thought it was over. Seriously, I'm like, it's over. It's done. They got him, and boy, was I wrong. Was it Middleton? What is his name? Middleton? I say his name correct. That boy was out there playing like prime Jordan. Some games, man, he was looking spectacular. And Giannis in the clincher, the 50 points, 13 rebounds. It's wow. And to know that this kid is 26 years old. I don't know. It makes me excited. It makes me excited that he won without joining joining a super team or creating a super team. That he was able to win without one. It was good seeing the Suns go to the championship without being the quote unquote super team. It shows that there's still parity in the league. That just because some superstars join forces, just like they did in LA with the Clippers, or like what they did in Brooklyn with the Nets, is not a gold ticket to the championship, right? You still got to play team basketball. So I was really excited to see that. I'm happy for the kid. I really want Chris Paul to get one, but I'm happy for Giannis.
Okay, Mr. Norris. I wish Jedi Knight, because he the Bucks guy. Jedi Knight is the Bucks guy.
That's true.
Not Jedi, just not Jedi, but D2K. D2K is the Bucks guy.
Yeah, you're right.
So you forgot one team, Space Jam. What's the montage?
Yeah, we got to talk about that too. Did y'all get a chance to see it? You haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it either.
But I'm driving here in the great state of Arkansas. I don't know if anybody knows what that place is. Arkansas. It felt weird coming up. But anyways, I have a reason to celebrate. Bobby Borden. I put out a Instagram. I was about to say tweet or whatever. I was like, man, the Bucks better play Bobby. Not that he was a great contributor, but if you look at the two of the greatest players of all time always had an Arkansas guy beside him. Yeah, sir.
Here we go. Here we go.
If you want the championship, play Bobby. No.
Wow. That's funny.
It's true though. It's true. 6 and 5. Let's do it. Anyways, the Bucks, man, like you said, it's not a super team. It's a team that, like K-Ball said, I thought they were down after the first 2 games. I was like, oh wow, they don't stand a chance. And I think Antetokounmpo was still kind of hurt from that injury that he had the previous series, I believe.
What'd you say, Keith?
So,
What'd you say?
I'm not gonna say it again. I paused. Anyway. But yeah, he was still hurt from that. But man, they dug deep. They got it done. You know, and I hate to say it, man. I just don't think. I think that was Chris Paul's best chance. He had never been to the finals.
Yeah.
I think that was his best chance, and unless he teams up with some super players. But I don't even know how that's gonna work. And like we were talking about before we started the show, you know, they talked about him going to the Lakers. But that's neither here nor there. Congratulations, Milwaukee, Giannis, and that whole squad over there.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I'm agree. I thought at the game 2, and they went up 2-0. I thought it was over. I thought Chris Paul had basically shored up his first ring, and I was happy for him. You know what I'm saying? I was happy for him, happy for Booker and the coach. What's his name? What's that coach name? It's skipping my name. Is it Milton or something like that? Anyway, was happy for him, man. Yeah. And but then I don't know what happened, but Giannis went nuclear on the
he went
Suns,
Super Saiyan mode.
Yeah, he was. I'm like, what is going? This is Vegeta, God. What is that? God of Destruction, Vegeta. So, I can't either. But I was rooting hard for the Suns. I wanted Chris Paul to seize his first ring because I felt like Giannis got a lot of career in front of him. But
a lot of career.
This is what happened, man. After they won, and I was like, man, I was kind of super disappointed in Chris Paul, right, and Booker. They kind of Chris to me folded under the pressure. That's how I saw it. And then they just started looking super small. Like I was like, God,
they did.
They started looking smaller and smaller by the minute, and they started shrinking up in the fourth quarter. Booker started looking young, but it was Giannis' celebration. It when he sat down on the bench and he put the towel over his head and he teared up.
He had that one glory tear.
Yeah,
glory.
That's when I was like, man, you know what? I was proud. I was happy for him. I was like, man, that brother earned that ring. He did what he had to do, and I'm happy for him, man. You know what I'm saying?
All respect.
All respect. So I won't add nothing else to that. I will leave it at that. And I will agree with you, Keith. I think the window for if there was any chance for Chris Paul to get him a ring without joining up with a LeBron or somebody or another team that like, you know, maybe the Clippers, or I can't see him going out east and joining up with KD them, but that might have been his window, man. Miami, maybe, but I don't think him and Butler would much well.
I don't think Butler would even want that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think they too alpha-ish for each other. I think the best bet for him right now to win a ring would be to opt out of that contract, take a pay cut, and go join up with LeBron. Because I think LeBron and AD could use a Chris Paul type. And Chris Paul needs a LeBron and AD to get him over the hump, because nobody is coming to the Suns to join them right now. Maybe,
I don't know if I would say
maybe
nobody.
Damian Lillard, maybe, but I don't think Damian can get them over the hump.
I don't see Damian going over there. They don't need another superstar in Phoenix to win, right? If they could continue they play team ball, right? And I think during the regular season they had 8 players in double digits on the team, averaging for the season. So they don't need another quote unquote superstar. They just need to continue to get quality minutes and have maybe another good quality starter. But I don't think they need another superstar. My opinion.
Danny Green or something, like a Danny Green, somebody like that that's like solid defense.
Who?
Yeah, I don't know, Keith. You think he too old, man? Don't be doing Keith like that. He got his reason for bringing up Danny Green.
I said like a Danny Green, somebody who's just a solid player.
Okay. Okay.
Keith, I had your back. K-Bone trying to use you on the show, man, to get you. I'm like, you ain't gonna do Keith like that. No, man, you ain't getting that off.
Danny Green's name isn't spoken in high regards anymore.
You hear me say like a Danny Green. I mean, you can even say
Danny Green got 3 rings with 3 different teams alongside LeBron, so we got to talk about Danny Green's name with some respect.
And
anyway, let me answer this
people
question.
Playing the floors got rings too, so what does that mean?
But he was a central, not necessarily central key figure. He wasn't a key figure. Because he did miss that 3, that wide open 3, but he was a piece of the puzzle to winning that year.
Okay, all right.
Tiger King, yes, I have been keeping up with the Dragon Ball. I think it's chapter 76 manga, and I did see that Vegeta has kicked into his Akai, God of Destruction. I guess Super Saiyan. I don't know what you gonna call it, but looks dope, especially with the Super Saiyan 3, no eyebrows, forehead. That was pretty dope to me. Curious how this gonna go. So yes, sir, I have been keeping up with it.
A month? A month to wait?
Yeah, we got another month. We got another month to wait before we start getting that story. So, but anyway, y'all didn't come to hear about no basketball. So, K-Ball, since we talked about basketball, we got to go ahead and skip over the rest of the stuff because we ready to get into these topics because I ain't trying to be here all night.
Yeah.
So, we finna jump into what you've been gaming on. And so, let's go. I got it muted, so hold up. But what have you been gaming on? There it is. Sing it, folks. Let's go. Hey. What you been gaming on? 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 Gaming on, gaming on, gaming on. All right, Mr. Norris, since you on the road, what have you been gaming on, bro?
Nothing.
Game of life.
I was out of town last week, so I didn't have a chance to game on anything.
Okay. Nothing at all? Nothing. Just out of town living it up. Man.
No, even on your phone?
No, I ain't played nothing on my phone either.
Tic-tac-toe, checkers, cards, anything?
I was on a plane. You said it's a game of life.
Game of life.
Okay. Well, that's life. We grown men. That's what it do. Mr. K-Bond, what you been gaming on, bro?
Okay. So I have been gaming. I work from home, so I have a little time on my hands. I don't have any shit.
Hold up. Pause, man. Pause, man. You know what, K-Bum? You gonna stop. You gonna stop with this throwing it in folks' face that you still at home, man. You gonna stop it. You know what I'm saying? You throw that, you do it, and you think you funny. You did it the other day when I was talking to you. You thought that was funny. I didn't appreciate it. We know you at home, man. We know that you at home working. We know that you got the luxury, the privilege, and the bliss.
Honesty.
Man.
Can I get back to it now?
Go ahead, man.
All right,
Go
thank
ahead.
you very much. So yeah, I've been gaming. I've been giving some gaming in, and so I know I talked about this a couple of podcasts ago. But I went ahead and got that Mass Effect trilogy, and I have finally completed around 60 hours of gaming playing Mass Effect 1, playing Mass Effect 2, playing Mass Effect 3 remastered, and I am here to say that ending was trash. Man, Lord have mercy, was it so bad? Oh, you played through this whole story, and I got a chance to play it all at once. So I got a chance to just feel the entire story almost like a movie, right? Because you're taking it all in instead of the, I don't know how many years was in between the first Mass Effect and the last Mass Effect. I got a chance to play this as if it was one united story from the beginning, right? From beginning to end. And I tell you that ending, whoever, I don't know if the main writer from BioWare left before they finished Mass Effect 3, but good Lord, that was terrible. It really spoils the experience, to be honest. It really spoiled my 60 hours. It was that bad, the ending. And I went out and looked at the different variations of the endings, and they were all bad. Nothing was good about it. So that really spoiled it for me. That hurt. That yeah. But anyway, so I guess finishing off Mass Effect, that's what I've been gaming on. Still playing games like NBA 2K20, not 21, because 21 is trash. NBA 2K20. I haven't touched Madden in a long time. Playing MLB The Show. That's a good game. I've been spending quite a bit of time on that. Still dabbling in Overwatch. I've been playing with my brother. Playing FIFA with a couple other people because we played multiplayer together. And is that it?
KB, not K-Bomb.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, Overwatch, 2K, MLB. I've been focusing on Mass Effect. You know, that's been my main focus, is finishing that game. And so next on the list of games is probably Ratchet and Clank. Okay. I'm probably going to wait until tomorrow or the weekend, because I like to sit down and kind of, you know, when you go through the first part of the story, you want to get the feel of the story. So I'm going to sit down when I can have some time to spend a couple of hours on the beginning part so I can fill it out and get that going. So
okay,
yeah, that's what I've been gaming on.
All right, okay, I guess it's my turn. For me, I have been playing pretty much Ratchet and Clank, what you about to play. I have been playing, and I'm trying, cause I got really beat up on the last over the, what was it, a couple of days ago. I got beat up on, abused, feelings hurt. You know what I'm saying? Keith, it wasn't you, Keith. It wasn't you. It was somebody else that shall remain nameless. K-Bum. But still.
The hate is real. The hate is real. He said clean up, didn't he?
Made me feel low, because he's like, man, because this is what happened. Let me give y'all the fill in.
Here we go.
So I have been reaching out to my brothers, because, you know, this addiction of buying games that we don't need is real, right? And I hadn't bought anything for my Switch in an extremely long time. And
true that.
I messed around and watched the review of Zelda HD Skyward Sword and let that nonsense pull me in. And I saw some stages, and I saw the HD, and I saw the clarity, and I said, oh my God, man, I think I want it. And I called out to Keith. He wouldn't even respond. Keith just left me hanging, wouldn't say level, don't do it, nothing. And I end up getting it. So I called K-Bum from Blessed By, you know, because me and K-Bum talk pretty a whole lot. So I called him. I was like, man, I see NBA 2K. Was it 21? Yeah. He said, don't do 21. It. He said, don't do it. So Keith, I'm sitting up here in the store like, oh man, I can get this game. I can play with my son. No, don't do it. He said, what you doing, man? I said, I'm buying this Zelda HD. He said, man, don't you got a whole bunch of stuff in your back catalog? I'm like, dude, stay out my entertainment system, man. You don't do that. Stay out my entertainment
true
system,
story.
man.
True story.
He started laming off the games I got. Don't you got Star Wars? Don't you got what's the game from Ubisoft?
Street. No, Immortals.
Immortals, like, man, what have you finished any of them games? Or like, dude, don't do me like that, man.
Phoenix,
yeah. Man. So
Phoenix Rising.
I feel bad right now. I don't feel proud to say all I've been playing is Ratchet and Clank. So I'm on a mission, people. I didn't even open up Zelda HD. I didn't even start it. I refused to open it until I clear out some of my back catalog. So my plan, and this is my plan, I'm going to beat Ratchet and Clank, then I'm going to double back and beat The Last of Us 2, and then I'm going to choose between Phoenix Rising or Star Wars and which one I'm going to beat. And then from there, I'm going to try out the Zelda, and then hopefully by then, I'll probably be buying either Metroid Dread, giving that a try, and I probably won't buy anything else for the year. I don't see anything. Maybe Horizon, is it Forbidden West? That might be the only two next games I buy. So I've been playing this Ratchet and Clank, and I'm just gonna say, man, if you got a PlayStation 5 and you haven't played Ratchet and Clank, the more I explore this game, the more I get into it. It's really like playing a Pixar cartoon. The way it's acted, you listening to commentary and acting throughout the action is like the interaction between Clank and what's her name, Ribbit, and then this other particular character I got now. I don't want to spoil it from K-Bum, but
yeah, please don't.
The interaction, man, is like watching a cartoon. You're just the person playing the protagonist. So is a protagonist or antagonist is the enemy. So yeah, protagonist. So yes. I'm enjoying it. I don't think I'm too far from beating it. I've been taking my time because I don't want to just beat it too fast, but it's right there. So I'm enjoying that, and that's pretty much all I've been playing because K-Bum made me realize that I am I don't really value beating games like I should, and he's holding me accountable, and I shall act in accordance. So with that being said,
hilarious.
That brother was naming all. When you start naming all my games, I'm like, how this dude gonna name my game? Like, come on, funny, man. But anyway, so that's what we've been gaming on. So we finna move on to the next to these topics. I guess.
Yes, sir.
The first thing I guess we could talk about is EA Play Live. Get y'all thoughts on this, and then we'll piggyback from that to one of the games that they announced. So we'll talk about Dead Space after we talk about the other stuff. So was anything outside of Dead Space in this presentation or this state of, I don't know what would you call it?
Yeah. I can talk about it a little bit.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So what they did, so if you guys aren't familiar, so EA skipped E3 this year. And I don't know if we skipped it last. I don't think they skipped it the other years, but they completely skipped E3 this year. And they had their own little E3, and what it looked like from what we saw, it looked like a E3 presentation. Right, you have the guy on stage. He's kind of announcing games. He's bringing people on stage to talk about games. He's interviewing people on stage. He's showing video behind him. So it pretty much looks like an E3 presentation. But there's one thing here that really missed in this presentation. When there's no crowd and you make an announcement and there's silence, it doesn't build excitement, right? Because they announce a game and here it comes new game, blah blah blah, and no clapping, no woo, no nothing. I was like, wow, you guys need to do a different type of presentation because this ain't it. And I believe the guy who was actually doing the presentation, I believe he's a wrestler. People are gonna probably
I know
chop me. for not knowing it, but
I don't know his name.
I haven't watched wrestling since my college days, so I don't really know who he is, but I do know
part
he's
of that.
pretty
What
big.
Is that? Someday.
Yeah, it's like 3 black guys.
Yeah,
and they all
someday I can't remember that. Some booty oats or stupid. That's why I don't watch it because I can't do it. Go ahead.
Yeah. So he says they had their own show at the last E3, no floor space. Okay, thanks, Tiger King. Yeah. So it just felt a little flat to me, and so the problem was some of the big games we were looking forward to, right? They teased, and I know me and Keith talked about this. They teased the Mass Effect game that's coming out. That wasn't there. The new Skate game wasn't shown, and there was nothing from Star Wars. So what you got was an update for Apex Legend, an update for Knockout Kings. I believe that's the name of it. There was a new indie game that it looks interesting. They EA does try to give some money to indie developers. That I give them that. With I think Unravel, and it was another game where it was a 2-player game that he did a couple years ago. And then there was Battlefront 2040 something, and then I don't know if it was something else after that, but then there was the reveal of the Dead Space game, a little teaser for it. So that's what it was. So that's what it kind of was. Like I said, it pretty much was a E3 presentation. If you looked at it, you would assume it's E3. It wasn't like a state of play like Sony's doing. It was even a little different than what Nintendo does, right? Because Nintendo does like pre-recorded stuff, but this was like a live E3 type of presentation with the guy on stage. And Xavier Woods, man, the comment section be on point. Thank you, sir. Xavier Woods is the thanks, Tiger King. Let me give you your actual name shout out. Thank you, Tiger King. But yeah, if you looked at it, it looks very much like a E3 presentation, but it was just without any good games or excitement from the audience or any livelihood to it. It was pretty dry. The guy did a great job with the presentation. He gave us much energy because he's an over-the-top wrestler, so he gave us all the energy, but there was no one to react to it. That was the problem. He gave us energy, but there was no one reacting to his energy, so it kind of fell flat. I don't blame him. I blame the way they wanted to do the presentation, but that's, in a nutshell, that's kind of what they talked about and I don't think they even showed Madden at this presentation or FIFA. Yeah, I don't think they showed Madden or FIFA, which is pretty strange. But yeah.
Okay. That Knockout Kings, before I throw it to you, Keith, has any one of y'all played it yet? Because it looks like a play on what Splatoon kind of is. Has any one of y'all played it?
I haven't. I thought about playing it, but I haven't played it.
Okay.
Well, you've done more than I have then. Just I haven't even thought about it. No, I haven't given it a try.
Okay, cool. Well, all right. Well, Keith, go ahead and share your thoughts, bro.
So I didn't watch it live. I had to go back and skim through it. I was actually at work, but I can work from home, K-Bone. How about that?
What coming at me for?
No, it's like I work from home playing these games. But no, I went back and skimmed through it. It kind of reminded me of what's the guy Paris when he did was it Xbox Game Pass or whatever?
Yes.
Or something. It gave me that vibe, and I'm wondering if that's going to be like a trend going forward, finding these people to do these presentations all the way through. Because that's what he did. Because like with a Nintendo Treehouse, you got somebody here, then somebody else will come through, and just various people. But yeah, like you said, he did a good job with the presentation for what he could work with. From what I saw. But yeah, like Kamo said, it wasn't a lot of really good games. Honestly, it was just pretty much here's some update announcements, and it's like, why do you even need to do this? Take this format to give us updates and things like that. And I'm pretty sure they were probably significant, but I don't play those games. We're going to talk about this later. but I never got a chance to play Dead Space. I do have.
Oh Lord.
Hold on.
Wow.
I do have Xbox Game Pass, and I do have the EA Play, which is a part of it, so I can go back and play all three.
All two.
Is it? I thought it was. Is the third one bad?
You talking about that one on the K-Bomb? K-Bomb don't want to acknowledge the Wii version.
No, I'm not talking about the Wii version. That ain't what I'm talking about. That third one was so trash.
Yeah.
Me, I was a Dead Space whoa, have that word just killed me. Thank you very much, Level. Thank you. And I was gun ho for Dead Space. I think I played the third one for about 25 minutes and never touched it again. So that's why I say there's only two.
Third one was
terrible. But yeah, all two. But I played the third one anyway. But yeah, I don't know. And then I think they have some stuff for Battlefield. I don't know. I don't know what EA is doing. I want people to take this format and not say anything. Like, people got onto Nintendo about the directs. But at least they were giving us more meat. They were giving us more meat. Even if it wasn't games that you wanted, they were giving us more meat. And I feel like they've taken this format, separated it from E3, and still really didn't say anything. Kind of like when Capcom. Oh, no, that was in for E3. Never mind. But Capcom didn't really say anything. It's like, why are you even wasting your time and money doing this and not even actually saying anything? But overall, I don't understand the whole point of them doing it. I don't want to be just a negative guy. I'm pretty sure there was somebody that was enjoying everything that they showed, which is fine. That's what it's about. But I personally did not get anything from it outside of Dead Space, which we're gonna talk about later.
I mean, their games, they sell million copies of their games. I mean, let's not sugarcoat. There are just like Call of Duty sells millions. There are people out there that love playing these type of games. Apex Legends has a huge audience. It stole a lot of people from Fortnite. Then it went back, but it still has a huge following. And so, say again. I'm sorry.
I said that's why I said personally, because I had to change it. I didn't want to speak for everybody. So
yeah.
Let me send this shout out to Alan Steed. Welcome to the show, bro. We're so happy for you being in the internets with us on our podcast. As for me,
he was here last time, wasn't he? Yeah. He was,
as for me, I'm a forego the EA Play because when I was watching it, I wasn't focusing until the Dead Space part. So let's go ahead and talk about that. Now, I'm a fan of Dead Space, but I'm going to be totally, absolutely transparent. Dead Space freaked me out so bad that I couldn't finish it, man. I couldn't.
You didn't finish it?
I punked out. Man. I punked out, bro.
Oh.
So
level.
I'm playing the teaser. I'm playing the teaser for it right now. So K-Bomb, since you are a fan and you did play all three, and so what do you feel about this remake and this game? Like we were fearing that this game wasn't going to make a return because the development studio that made the game originally, Visceral got basically, when EA took them over, EA ruined them. So
EA ruined Visceral when they took them over. That is a true statement.
Right. So now they got a new team developing this game. Do you know who it is? I didn't
catch the name of the.
Right.
I didn't catch their name, but yes, it's a new team.
If y'all in the chat, y'all always keeping us honest. Y'all do the research for us. Share the studio that's making this game. Because my first question is, first of all, when you saw it, what did you feel? Because this is exclusive to next gen. So this will not hit PlayStation 4. This will not hit the Xbox. Xbox, what is it? One X.
One X.
This will be strictly PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, and PC. Not even the Switch is getting this game. So when you saw it,
the Steam
is this, yeah, but that's next gen. That's next gen. So because we're gonna talk about the Steam doc.
It was just a jab. It was a jab. That's all it was. It was a jab.
All right.
It was a jab.
I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you at all. Nintendo chose to just give us. Anyway, we gonna stop. We ain't going there yet.
Anyway,
so
not yet.
Go ahead, K-Pop. Give me your thoughts, and then we gonna ask the question: do we trust that the developers can live up to the original and capture it? Go ahead.
All right, I am excited about this. I'm excited to talk about this. Let me restate that. When the first Dead Space came out, I think I was in college or was I graduating? I'm not exactly sure where I was in my life, but I was still. I think in my 20s, somewhere in my 20s, and so it came out, and I said, you know what, I want to try this game. I was never a fan of Resident Evil, never a fan of Resident Evil, because I like to shoot my way out of stuff, and you was really low on ammunition and stuff like that, and I didn't bother with it. I tried to play Resident Evil, couldn't do it, and so when this came out. And this reminded me of one of the scariest movies that freaked me out when I was a kid. Event Horizon, yes sir. and I'm like, this looks like Event Horizon. That movie freaked me the crap out when I was younger, and I love sci-fi, and that's why I'm big on Mass Effect, because I love sci-fi, and I'm like, a sci-fi horror. My spider senses are tingling. So I'm like, let me get this game a try. And I was never really a big fan of the horror genre. I never really played too many of those games. Pretty much none. I didn't play the not the Resident Evil, but the other one. What was the other one? No, it was the one with the Tower Head dude.
Yeah, dang it. It was made by Konami.
Yes, with the Tower Head.
Silent Hill.
Yes, I didn't play Silent Hill. I like action. I like shooting stuff. I like, so I was more drawn to this, and so I played it, and I will tell you, this is the first and only game that has made a punk out of K-Bomb 20.
Oh no,
bruh!
You a punk general? What you talking about,
bruh? Woo! Pow, 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 pow.
I'm sorry, you set it up, man. You set this up. I couldn't let it go.
All good.
I'm messing. You ain't no punk, man. Don't drive down here trying to put hands on me, man. Don't do it. I know you, dude. Don't be trying to come my way.
All the kids giving you gray hair.
They up your way. My kids up by you.
Okay.
They in your backyard. Go ahead.
So, bruh, I tried to play this game because I know I was in. I don't know if it's the first one. No, the first one. So I was out of college because I was in my house and I was in my basement, and I had a black dark basement. It's a basement. It's dark. And man. I had a nice surround sound system with speakers in the back. Nice surround sound system. And bruh, I turned the lights on. I'm like, nope. I am playing this game with the lights on. I am no way. There was one part, and my surround sound system was so good. My surround sound was working pretty good, and I heard whispers, and I kid you not, I turned around to look behind me. I'm like, is that from the game, or is someone actually whispering to me? Because this is freaking me out. Yeah, I finished the first one. I finished the second one. I beat it, but there were times where I just said, "I'm going to bed. I can't do this tonight. I can't finish this game tonight."
Oh man, I'm going to bed. I want to ask something, because I want to tell you where my manhood gave up. Right before you finish, I want to tell you where my manhood gave up, because it was the same scenario. Surround sound was kicking. I had the lights off. I'm in the whole experience. I'm trying to man up, freshly married. Got the sound kicking. So it's when you get to that stage where you go in and the scientist is in that lab that's kind of locked off.
Yes.
And you get in there.
I just saw that.
And he locks the door with you in there, and you start hearing that thing, and it starts shaking and all. And I killed it, and I said, "That's it." I had no more. I'm telling you, my nerves were shot, and I could not play that game anymore. My brother called me. My youngest brother called me and said, "Man, have you played this Dead Space game?" I said, "Yeah, bro." He said, "Bro, this game is freaking me out." Like it's literally it was too creepy, man. I was like, I can't do it. I think I tried to play it a few more times, and when you would hear them going through the corridor and they all in the vents and they break, I was like, dude, I can't do it. This killed Resident Evil far as scare.
Yeah.
And Resident Evil had nothing on. But go ahead, K-Bo, my bad. I just had to get that out.
I got a question about y'all. Since
ahead.
y'all both do it, and it's seemingly one of the scariest games according to what y'all were saying.
Yes.
Right? Do you think in this remake, you think they might dial it back, or you think they might go even harder?
Nope.
I hope not.
I sat and listened to a interview that IGN gave with the two directors, with not two directors, but some of the heads of. And sorry, go ahead and finish your point first, and I'll jump in with that. But you got a point.
Yeah. I was just wondering because, like, I'll take it. Here's just an example, and I'm just gonna make it up. Like Mario 2, the original Mario 2. I guess I'm not making this up. The original Mario 2, they did not release it in the US because it was just simply too hard, and they came out with another Mario 2. So it's like, do you think they pushed this game scary to the max, where they're like, hey, we might even dial this back, but I want to hear what you're about to say.
No, I listened to the directors talk about this game and what they wanted to do for it, and they're going to dial it up. And I know Tiger King kind of stated there, but they were even talking about 3D audio. They have the new technologies they have now because of time. Technology has gotten better, and one of the things they talked about was 3D audio, and being able to in the game where precisely identify where the sound is coming from, and that they were talking about using all these different tools and lessons they've learned throughout making video games now that they want to bring to Dead Space. And so it's going to be even more scarier than before. It's going to. They said they want to stay true to the game. They want to stay true to what people loved about it. But it's not. They're not going to. You can't dial Dead Space to 100. I mean, it's not too far. You can dial it. But they're not going to dial it down. I know that, and that's kind of what they talked about. They seem very excited to scare the crap out of people, and very happy to do so. So I'm excited about it. And from what I've heard, and no, this is also an answer to one of Level's question was about would this team do it justice? And after listening to them talk about it during their interview, they sound passionate enough about it. It's still EA. But the thing is, EA allowed Visceral to make this game. They didn't really have it wasn't really overarching as bad as they were. That's what made 3 so bad, because they had their hands in too much. EA did, but hopefully they allow the studio to be the studio and make a good game. And these guys sound passionate enough to put out a good game, and I'm excited. I am excited what they're going to do. I'm contemplating, because I'm not a nostalgia guy. I don't always play old games. Coming from the guy who just played all 3 Mass Effects, I don't really play. Reason I did because I didn't beat the last one. But anyway, I don't really play stuff like that. But this is one of my favorites. There's very few that really hits me and says one of my favorite games. And Dead Space 1 was one of them, because I believe one of the trope was the protagonist did not talk the entire game. I think that was the thing. He didn't say a word the whole game. It was a silent but good guy. And so
did you talk about, because I was doing something and Didn't know if you hit on this. Did you talk about the way it was designed with the shooting? That they took a unique approach with how, with the severing of the limbs, and it wasn't just a machine gun. It was something like a tool.
Yes, it was
turned
like a
into
tool.
A weapon. And
it was a tool they turned into a weapon, and you can shoot off, and you shoot their limbs off. And they actually talked about a little bit about this in the interview, and how they have better tools now to make it look more visceral. Of like, they have fluid simulations for the blood, right? They have ray tracing for the lighting, so you can even have a higher contrast between those dark areas when you are trying to see, but you can't really see inside of it. They talked about even that aspect of the game even being better than what it was in the original. And so, because like you said, you would shoot the arm off of one thing, and it would still come at you. You shoot the legs off, and it would crawl.
Yeah.
And then one of the things, I think you shoot all the limbs, and the head would still like limp over to you. And man, I'm like, just die. Just leave me alone and die. That's one of the freakiest things with the game, because you would be killing stuff and dead bodies laying on the ground, and one of the things wouldn't be dead, and it would just pop up and just, oh my Lord, that game.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, K-Bum. What do you, and I know you talked about the sound, but I don't know if you hit on it from this angle. With the newer systems having, I know PlayStation has that 3D sound, right?
Yes.
And how do you think? Okay, let me ask you from these angles. And I'm only asking because I do own a PlayStation, and it's not no knock at Microsoft, nothing like that. But just bear with me, just for the sake of conversation.
Okay.
With the PlayStation having that 3D audio and the haptic feedback, what would you like to see them do in a game like this with both of those features?
First, with the 3D audio, I definitely want to feel, because I wear headphones now when I game. I don't even use a surround sound system. I don't have it in my basement. I use headphones when I game now, and I want a very similar sensation of a surround sound system. I want to be able to. I want the 3D audio to be so good that it gives you that goosebumps on the back of your neck when you hear those things crawling. That's the kind of feeling I want. Right, that the hairs on the back of your neck is 3D autos that well, and that's good, and you can feel it on the back of your neck, and you like slapping the back of your neck like somebody on me. That's what I'm looking for. That kind of, this game has the ability to do something like that and make you feel that type of way. So I want to see that with the 3D audio. And when it comes to the PS5 controller with the haptic feedback, they can go a couple of ways with. There's a heartbeat type of thing that happens. I don't know if it's when he's getting shot or when he's about to die, but there's like a heartbeat type of thing that happens on the screen, or on the screen, and they can replicate that in the controller to kind of give you that feel. Or they can even give you maybe even like subtle shakes and moves when stuff happens, instead of just waiting for the character to do something. They can try to scare you with the joystick, right? Your joystick, the thing jump out and your joystick just rambles out of control or something like that. Or maybe there's something crawling and you can feel the little tinks on the metal on your joystick. I think that would just give it just that subtle difference that would make this remake. Yeah, that's what they talked about in the interview. They talked about immersion. They talked about, bringing you. What they said was, and this is one of the quotes. They want to make the game so immersive that you never want to put down the joystick. Those were his words. Okay. That you do not want to put down the joystick.
Keith, I had this thought, man, and that's why I asked, because with this type of game, you need like suspense to be at an all-time high. And with the PlayStation controller, I think it'd be dope if they implemented something like where your weapon, because you got to charge those weapons. You got to, I forgot how they do it, but the weapon draws low. Like, and let's say you in a situation where you your weapon is really drained, right? And you go to shoot, and the haptic feedback fails. Like it fails. Like you can feel it in your controller that the gun failing. And
yeah,
you know you need
cool.
to get somewhere to get weapons, and when you pull the trigger, you can feel like at points it ain't firing like it should, and it's sticking, and it's like shooting and blanking, and like you could literally feel that. I think that would literally, with a game like this, with like what K-Bomb was saying with the sound and how it literally has you looking behind you, looking at where they're coming from, because the sound was just that superb, even on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. If they added an implement or something like that where that haptic feedback fails when you pull it, and you can feel it draw dead, and maybe enough to pull back on and shoot one or two and then draw dead again, like that would add so much immersion if you could feel it in your controller if they did some stuff like that. I don't know if they're thinking that far out in the box, but it was just interesting because you can literally do that type of stuff with that controller. But with that being said, any other thoughts on this before we move on to Valve?
On Dead Space 1 and 2 right now.
Keith, I'm telling you, bro.
Yeah,
I'm telling you. Hey.
Hey, brother, I'm gonna tell you right now, brother. It ain't for the faint of heart,
man. They Visceral Games. We thought they were going to be around for a long time because they made because this was at the point where no one was making new IPs. This was around that time when no one was really taking a chance to make new IPs. It was always blah 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 2, blah 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 3. They came out with Dead Space, and they hit that mug on the nose.
Let me say this real quick. I don't know if Alex still there. We not finna hate on the Steam doc, but the Valve Steam. There's no hate coming this way.
Valve Steam. What is you saying?
No.
So, but anyway, go ahead, K-Bomb.
No. It was just yeah. I'm just yeah. You're gonna. I think it still holds up too. I think graphically, the way they did it graphically, I think it's gonna hold up. And I saw them playing the old one. I think it still may hold up pretty well. So you should have some enjoyment playing the game. So
that game was extremely well designed for its time. So I think you'd be fine.
It was.
All right, so let's bring this one to a close and go to our next topic. So. Valve Steam, is it Deck?
I believe it's Deck, right?
Yeah, Deck. So
Steam Deck.
So I'm pulling it up on the screen for those who are listening, and I'm pretty sure if you a real for real gamer, you have seen this. We looking at it right now. So Keith, I'm gonna come to you, and then I'll piggyback behind you, and then come back to K-Bum. Cool. I'm setting this up because of the conversation we had on our last podcast about the Switch and our fear and our concern that Switch could be gambling. So there's a lot of places I want to go because I think this dock is dope. I don't know if it's for me just yet. Price is very affordable, $399.
Very aggressive.
Very aggressive. It's way more powerful than the Switch, but there's other aspects about it that doesn't make it may hurt it in comparison to the Switch. So throwing it to you, man. Give me your first impressions of the Steam dock. The Steam dock. I guess that's how you say it. Deck or whatever, and how you feel about it.
So when I first saw it, I don't know if I woke up to it or I had seen it later in the evening, but I was like, oh, here we go again. Somebody trying to imitate the Switch, blah, blah, blah. But then that's how I was thinking, like, oh, here we go again. Another little thing that's going to flop or whatever. But then I saw that it was Valve, and I was like, okay, that's interesting. But I still wasn't really interested. You know, I heard all the specs. I saw the prices. So by this point, I've seen all of the information I needed to make a call. So I'm looking at it, but the one thing I wanted to know, and I think Digital Foundry or somebody pointed it out, that it can play games medium, high, or maybe medium at a really comfortable 60 frames per second. And I'm just looking at it like, you know what? That actually wouldn't be bad, honestly, if you had enough storage to be able to take your Steam library on the go. If you've never had a chance to uh, use Steam, what is it, Steam sales or whatever, if you've never ever had a chance to do that and you want to buy this, if you don't want to build a PC, this thing is it's a wise choice. And Valve has made a wise choice by making it portable as opposed to, just something you stick onto your TV. So they're still sticking with, and this I think this can go on your TV, but they're still sticking with the idea that PC is PC, and we're gonna do a handheld instead of making a console because they tried the console and it didn't work. But I think I kind of got off my point about the Steam sale. The Steam sale, games are extremely cheap most of the times. Games that you've probably been wanting to play for a very long time, you'll find them on their Steam sale, and you can just have them stacking up. You don't even have to install them. You just have them stacking up on your list of games to play. And being able to take that on the go now, as opposed to some rinky-dink little Wi-Fi connection with some stuff that's tried in the past, and just being able to take this on the go, play it natively at 60 frames per second, medium. This is I'm kind of digging it. And I think the screen only goes up to 800p, which is what it's more than the Switch, but it's still not 1080p. So you're not getting 1080p 60 frames per second. That's probably how they're able to get the 60 frames per second out of this thing. But like Level said, it's more powerful than the Switch. And I think that they did the wise choice by putting the thumbsticks up top, kind of like the Wii U. Mm-hmm. I think that was a brilliant idea. I think Nintendo should have followed their own thing, but I get it because the Joy-Cons could be played separately. But having those sticks up top like that makes it a lot more comfortable with touching the triggers on the back, and the face buttons are the face buttons. I mean, you use them when you need them, but it's normally triggers and analog sticks. So, man, kudos to them. There's no hate on this at all. I like it. I think I might actually invest.
Okay. Well, I come with my thoughts. When I first saw it, I was like you, Keith. I was like, man, what they trying to do? But as I kept watching it, and just kept watching it, I'm like, this might be the device we've been concerned about coming. That could potentially, I'm not saying it will, but could potentially cripple the feelings about the Switch because of the price and what they was able to do. So basically, Valve is giving you a Xbox Series S in your hands. It's basically equivalent to the Xbox Series S. For they if you can't afford the Elite Xbox Series X, you can buy the S and still play next gen games with a few bells and whistles removed, like the resolution
down a little.
Yeah, just down a little, but you still getting the 60 frames. You still getting 1440p. You still getting all the things that bump it above what the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One X was doing. The right. Xbox Series S is giving you that next gen experience at a budget price. Well, this device is giving you Xbox Series X equivalent experience in a mobile on the go way. Now, the only drawback to me is I don't like where the buttons are placed up at the top corner. I'm not sure. I had to feel it to see if that feels right, but I'm trusting you, Keith. And then, it's straight connected to the Steam. You can't buy a cartridge or anything like that and put it in it. So, but other than that, it's dockable. You can dock it to the TV. It's like, bro, this thing might be able to go. Because the reason I think so, because it has the exact same appeal and it's doing the same thing Nintendo with the Switch is doing. Nintendo is not trying to directly compete with Sony and Microsoft. They going to the indies. They going to those Steam-like titles that's been coming over to the Switch and hitting the eShop, and you just don't know a lot of those titles is coming from Steam and other places. Well, you could play those games at their intended resolution and intended way it was meant to be played by the creators or the developers, because you're not having to downgrade the experience for the Switch. So a lot of those games that the Switch has that were former Steam games can be played in their full glory on this device. Then you can get games like Control and other games and play them at a Series S level, 1440p, 60 frames per second, or 30 frames per second locked. Like, dude, that's very impressive, man. There is really no salt that can be tossed at this device. They did a good job. The screen size is nice. It looks comfortable. I know some say it looks bigger than it looks bulky, but to me it doesn't. To me, sometimes the Switch, I don't play the Switch with the Joy-Cons on the side. It's not comfortable to me. So I'm with Keith. I often, when I play undocked, I play with my controller with it on a kickstand if I'm out of town or I'm somewhere and I want to play and I can't access a TV with my portable dock. I throw the kickstand up, throw my earphones in the earphones, and pull out my Pro controller. And it's still, that's a great way to play. But with this device, it looks like it's going to feel like a regular controller, unlike, the Switch. So, and then it has them additional pads, touch pads on the side, and the triggers on the bottom. Like this thing is pretty dope looking, man. It looks like the I don't know how I'm gonna say it, because the Switch is really geared towards middle young adults and adults, but this looks like a hardcore version of what the Switch is offering. Like for hardcore gamers, this would be what they would get over the Switch. And I was hoping that the Pro would come to be what this is doing. This is what we want the Pro to be. So that's my thoughts. Go ahead.
I would, before K-Bunga, I would argue to not say hardcore gamer, but just a person, just another alternative to somebody who want to play games on the go. And the fact that it gets third party day and date at the same time. So that's a huge plus. Like on one hand, you got 720p, but you got Metroid 4 coming out. So you got Metroid 4 coming out, but on this side you got all the third party games coming out, and it's at 800p. So I don't even want to use those terms that they used back in the Wii era.
The only reason I did it, Keith, is because you don't have Witcher 3 right on the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
In order for you to play it on the Switch, you got to compromise. You gonna have to compromise to enjoy it on the Switch. No knock to the Switch, but those who don't want to make that compromise sticks with the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One X. With this device, you don't really have to make that compromise. You can still enjoy it the way it was meant to be enjoyed. And that's why I say the hardcore. I don't say that the Switch is not hardcore. I'm not saying that the Switch is not for the hardcore. I'm just saying Nintendo is allowing that to creep back in by not doing what they should be doing. And so it's really from that angle. I'm with you. I don't want to really draw back to them terms, but I said it like that for a reason, because if you want to play Call of Duty, if you want to play Control, if you want to play I'm trying to think of all these third-party games, Assassin's Creed, if you want to play all these games the way the developers intended for you to play, with little compromise, this versus the current OLED Switch, as beautiful as that OLED screen might be, it ain't this. You know what I'm saying? It really isn't. And I'm like, man, this might be the device that turned those more engaged gamers. Like, man, that's what I'm looking for. And I think Nintendo gambling and trying to milk this thing a little too long, and it's like, bro, you letting folks come in. Well, you could just shut the door on a device like this by giving Switch with the power of this, you shut the door on this.
Yeah, that's a really strong point. When you said it like that, I was like, okay, I see what you're saying. That's a really strong point.
So, but anyway, I throw it at either. I mean, yeah, let K Bomb in here, and then I'll bring it back to you, Keith. Go ahead, K Bomb.
Yeah. So when I saw this, I get straight to the point. I saw this, I was like, this is it, man. This is the handheld that I've been trying to get Nintendo to make, man. I saw it and I'm like, this is crazy, and I pre-ordered it right there on the spot, man. Cause I'm like, this is the handheld I've been.
You ordered it,
man. Like, this is the handheld I've been asking for. I've been telling you.
Man, you ordered.
Man, you know I ain't pre-ordered this thing, man. Get out of here, man. You know I ain't pre-ordered this. Man, I don't play handheld games.
I was gonna say all that preaching you was doing the other day. You unbought this. I'm finna be offended. Go ahead.
No, let me get to the point. For the record, the Sony Pony has never owned a Sony handheld. Let's get that straight. I've never owned a PSP. I never owned a Vita, because to me, this is why when people just hate them when I talk about the Switch, I don't care about handhelds. Like I didn't buy it when Sony had it, and I didn't really care for it when Nintendo had it, or anyone else has it. It's not my cup of tea. I don't game on the go like that. I have nice TVs. I like playing on my TVs. That's as simple as that. And so, but to get back to the point of this, the Steam Dock. So when I first saw it, I'm like, oh, it's another reject Switch. I think everyone kind of had the same initial reaction that, oh, it's a knockoff Switch. Look at this. And then I saw the traffic and people talking about it. I'm like, okay, let me look again. And I gave another look. I'm like, oh, okay, Val, okay. And I looked at it. I'm like, oh, they got some power behind that thing. But secondly, I said the thing is huge. Secondly, but I'm like, oh, they got some power behind it. I'm like, wow, this looks like this can be a winner, because you're basically saying you can play your PC games on the go. Right, yep. The same PC games that you play on your laptop or your computer, you can take it to go with you and not lose much functionality, and being able to play, whatever you're playing in Steam. Because like you were saying, Keith, there are just so many different games out there for Steam, or on the Steam platform. I mean, the diversity of type of games is just only the mind can even fathom the amount of different games out there. So I think for people, I think this is targeting a different audience, though. To be honest with you, I don't believe this is targeting the same. Okay, there are overlaps between this audience and the Switch audience. There's overlap. But I don't think this is the main focus is targeting the same audience. I think this audience is a very similar audience to Alex Prim, the guys who they enjoy handheld games, but he does most of his gaming on PC, and he's not afraid to state it, right? And this is really for the PC guys. Those guys who would probably like a Switch if it didn't, maybe people more like me, but more on the PC side. People that probably want a Switch, but they like having fidelity in their games. They don't want that steep of a sacrifice just to game on the go. Right, they want to still very close quality. That's why they go out there and they get the new graphic cards, and they upgrade the processors, and they upgrade their RAMs. Those people, those PC guys, they're doing all of that because they want to make sure they're maximizing what they have. And so this is kind of targeting that audience. And there's going to be some overlap, but I think it's more the lines of that, and maybe even some Xbox or Sony guys who want a handheld at a higher quality with some of the games, that because you can put your own OS on top of it, which means you can put Windows, and then you could play the Xbox or the Windows Game Pass on this thing, so you could Game Pass on the go now. with this, or even when they bring xCloud, you can use xCloud to game on the go now with this system. So I think it should do pretty well. Valve is a very respected company, and I can really see them. They do a better job of putting out quality and not just crap. I mean, they have their own ecosystem and platform that they sell games, and they've been successful at it. And I can see this being another contender in the mobile market with a different core set of audience, which is perfectly fine. Options are great. So I don't really have too much negative to say on this. I don't know what negative I could say. I don't know. The price is good for what you're getting.
It's
but
good.
Even if yeah, I mean, I think maybe the memory is small on the $399 one. I think the memory is probably small for I think 64 gigabytes. So I think that's small.
You can always go and buy like on the Switch. I think they let you put your own SD storage on there. So I mean, you can go buy another 64 or 128 for like $30.
Yeah, but then the higher models have SSDs on there. So
solid state.
solid state drives, man.
Yeah, and that's where.
So
oh no, my bad. You still talking? My bad.
No. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I was finna steer it to Nintendo and the Switch, and my issues with the OLED model, because we cut out last time we was talking. We cut out and then finish that cast, so I don't feel it wrong to pick back up on some of that discussion. But that's my issue. It's like Tiger King saying it right here. He said the price option for the higher end drive space models. Can you imagine how much a Switch would cost with that space? Let alone upgraded hardware, because Nintendo is not eating costs, they pass it. Right on the money, Tiger King. You are hitting it. Right. K-Bum just said true. They are throwing all that cost onto their consumer base. And it's like, first of all, like I said last week, and we're going to go into the topic with Nintendo responds to OLED critics. One of the situations, well, we could talk about now and bring it all in so we could talk about it. Nintendo, that very thing got levied at Nintendo, that they are basically ripping off their fan base because they're overpricing this Switch. And of course, Nintendo came back and said that they weren't, and gave their reasons why this is not what they. How did they term it? K-Bum, pull up that if you don't mind. Pull up that article I sent. Well, I'll pull it up on my phone. Hold up.
Yeah, I'm pulling up too.
Yeah, pull it up and then go on and read it. How Nintendo framed that as I'm giving my thoughts. Like, that's my whole issue with the OLED Switch. We should have seen a price drop on the OG Switch already. This Switch should not be still costing $300. It's nothing but the NVIDIA Shield with Nintendo games being played on it. That's what it is. Some variations here and there. Nintendo could have been brought that device down, probably even down to the light price. The Switch could probably be $250 to $200. And then you introduce the OLED at the original price, and then introduce the Pro at $350, or what this Valve Stream is of $399. I would say $350, right, to be honest with you. But the fact that you didn't do that, and you're trying to milk the success of the Switch, which you have benefited enough, I think at this point you should look at the fans, be like, okay, we have come out the hole of the Wii U. We have repaired our image. We have hit a stride that no one expected us to hit. The Switch has been a success, and it's still a success even now during a pandemic, we outselling all the competition. And that might be the truth for the foreseeable future because of the situation with the chips. But Nintendo at no turn is saying, okay, now we want to make this even more affordable, even more easier to get. Now we're going to give you an overpriced screen. And then this system comes out and smacks it upside its head and says, and it clearly tells everyone that's looking, Nintendo is cheating y'all. That's what it says. Ain't this funny?
Funny?
Like, ain't this funny that we was talking about this 2 weeks ago?
Right.
And we said Nintendo is gambling, they playing with fire, and all it's gonna take is somebody to come and do what they didn't do at a reasonable price. So now you getting next gen graphics for $50 more than the OLED Switch. You are getting the next gen experience for just $50 more. Who wouldn't do that? And like you said, Keith, you don't have to wait until the Switch version of said third-party game is released. So that means you're going to be able to play Madden. I mean, I don't know about Steam. Is Madden on Steam?
Madden may be on Origin.
I got it up right here.
Okay.
Yeah, check. Cause they used to be on Origin, and maybe they did get off.
So I don't know. Yeah, with EA, they got they. So,
but Madden 21 is here.
Madden, NBA
22 is here.
All of us there with no downgrade.
Yeah.
No, all of it's there because you don't even get Madden and NBA's on the Switch.
Well, you get the NBA, but it's downgraded. It's downgraded. You get WWE, but it's downgraded. You'll get FIFA, but it's down. So this device, this is why I'm saying, if you ain't really buying the Switch for the Nintendo titles,
right,
then this is what you should buy.
Whoa,
that's real.
That's real. From Level himself.
From Level.
I heard that.
Let's take off the fan. I'm a fan of Nintendo, but I'm a fan of Nintendo titles. But for a person like K-Bum, right? Let me use you as an example, K-Bum. You're not a Nintendo guy. You called us and said, "Man, I'm heading out of town. I'm gonna be on this long flight." You said, "What game can you buy on the Switch for this trip?" Me and Keith sitting up here like, it's K-Bum 20, so we can't say Mario. We can't say Zelda. We can't say Mario. We said Mario Kart. I'm tired of playing Mario Kart. I'm playing Mario Kart. So Splatoon. Well, I'm done with playing with Splatoon. So are we naming off all these games, right? For K-Bum, that ain't appealing. But for this device, you can name Control. You can name this. You can name all the games that K-Bum enjoying at the house.
True.
You can name it here. And it's like, now you're not a handheld player, but let's say you were. If you went to the store to buy one of these systems, K-Bum, I'm thinking you going to buy a Valve Stream. That's what I was, if you was going to buy one.
To be honest, if I look at this and if I was going to buy and handheld and spend my good money on that, if I was really into handhelds, then this is the system that I would buy, because like he said, I can play all these games that I usually play, and also you have Sony, who's even putting some of their titles on the
could this be
PC?
Why?
You can play all those games. Play all those games.
Let me ask you this.
I don't.
Oh no, that's a thought.
I don't know about that.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
Sony starting to push heavy towards putting their games on PC. Now we know ultimately it's to make money, right?
Yes.
But Sony doesn't want to make another Vita.
Yep.
they
cost too much money.
But they ain't gonna put their titles on the Switch like a Microsoft would do.
Right.
But if you got Steam and they putting it on PC, who's to say you can't buy Valve and play God of War 4? I mean, the next God of War or the next Event Horizon. If Sony decides, hey, if you want to enjoy this on the PC, that means Microsoft not gonna get it, and they can still make money because, like Valve said, this is a PC experience. We just giving you a PC on the go. We just gave you a laptop designed for games.
Right.
To me, I can see Sony being like, we might be able to do something, and because if you could, let's say Sony let's say one of them games show up on Steam. Let's say what's the name of that game? Horizon Forbidden West.
Yeah.
Shows up on Steam. You don't think that's gonna push sales of this thing? For the person that don't want to go buy the PlayStation 5?
Who can't get a PlayStation 5.
Can't get it. Or just want the Switch experience, but want PlayStation 5 and third-party games. Which one they gonna get? Are they gonna go out and buy the OLED for $350? Are they gonna go to buy? I'm telling you, I would buy the Valve. It's a better deal, man. It's a better deal. It really is, and it's doing everything the Switch does for a considerably reasonable price.
Agreed.
You paying for what you're getting. With the Switch, you're not getting what you're paying for. It's just facts. But go ahead, back off Nintendo. We'll come back to Nintendo with this other statement they made. But I think it has potential. I'm not finna say it's finna, because Nintendo IPs are still strong like that. But
yes, it is.
It does have potential.
The more I know y'all we finna switch, but the more and more I look at it, I don't even really want to say it is competition. Let me not lie to myself. It is competition, and they will bite into each other's sales. Just simply put, that's just the reality. But I think K-Bone said, I think they're reaching different audiences. And you actually did say it. My bad. You said it too. They're reaching different audiences.
Yep.
And I think that's okay, because you look at the Xbox. What is that thing called? Series X? Is that it? Yeah. You look at the Xbox Series X, and you get the PlayStation 5. They both got devices sitting under your TV. It's okay that there's another device that you can play in your hand on the go, other than the label on it, Nintendo. So I think it's okay. I just, what makes me worried about that is that when Nintendo sees that, they start going in different directions. And I hope that they hold steady of what they're doing and just make it better, as opposed to, well, Valve is doing it, we better go figure out some new gimmick, and I don't want them to do that. They don't need to do that. That's the only negative I can see come from this. But
they don't need to do it. All they need to do is match Valve or outdo Valve's system. That's all they got to do. Give people the Switch Pro, which they should have gave us right now, because I was like, this is exactly, I feel like a prophet, because I said, man, 2 weeks ago, man, Nintendo playing games, and somebody gonna come and suck their thunder and go, and not knowing nothing about this device coming is beautiful, is nice looking, it says play me, it does. It feels like something. And I know, Keith, I'm using this sparingly. I'm using this just because it's the only thing that really captures what I'm trying to say. It says hardcore. It says, okay, let me say it like this. It says K-Bomb. It says K-Bomb. It says Keith Norris. It says D2K. It says, like level, Switch, either one could be me. But the way K-Bomb games, the games K-Bomb, Overwatch, Madden, FIFA, that's the Valve system. That's not the Switch. So, boy, Nintendo, I tell y'all enjoy. I ain't saying it's not over. Let me say that. Let me put that out. This is not finna hurt Nintendo no time soon. But it says that Nintendo does not have as much of a cushion as they think. You can't keep playing, Nintendo. You have the money. You have Valve. You have Nvidia. They showed you that they can make a more powerful system. You got to do right, man. Right now, it's time to be right because you got people eating into your space. And eventually, Mario and Zelda ain't going to keep people from looking at other options. It just ain't. You know, it's going to still, Zelda's still going to sell. Mario's still going to sell. But you, man, look. You like y'all slept on Sony. And Sony ate y'all up on the home console side. They ate up everything you had. Now you looking at this, and you're gonna probably have somebody else come with another device similar, and don't be shocked if it's Microsoft. You know what I'm saying? So Nintendo got to be careful right now. They do. They got to be careful. Kudos to Valve. I think it's a nice device. If I see a little bit more, I might. Oh. If I don't see the Pro, I might consider it. I might just consider it, man. I'm growing. I'm growing as in this thing, man. I'm realizing, hey, loyalty is for the birds in this plastic stuff. Get what you want, man. If it ain't pleasing, you get what you want.
Get what you want.
Anyway, any other thoughts on this device? We talked about the specs. What else? Did we miss anything?
Is it touchscreen?
Yeah, it's touchscreen with touch pads.
Oh, does it have an internet browser?
Yeah. I think it has internet browser.
Linux. You can put what you want on there.
Is it
you
the
put your own operating system on there?
Yeah, the iOS. Is it the iOS?
No, OS.
No,
OS. I said iOS. Yeah, OS. The OS is clean. Like, it looks clean, and they borrowed a lot from what the Switch is doing. Like, it looks like an adult. Man, I hate saying it like this because I know I'm triggering folks, but I don't intend to. The Switch doesn't look childish. So let me put that out there.
Okay, all right.
The Switch is not childish. But this looks like the Switch unlocked. Like,
that'll work. I like that.
Yeah,
Super
like
Switch.
It's unlocked. Yeah, it's unlocked. It's made for the person who watches YouTube, who watches Netflix, who aren't PC people. It has that look, but it has, like, when you're looking at the screen right now, that's Switch-like, but look at all the other stuff you see. It's set up for a more involved gamer, whereas the Switch is still trying to be mature, but it's still trying to hold on to adolescence, still trying to be kid friendly. This is like, figure it out, kid. That's what this is like. Figure it out. Like, the computer ain't catering. The kid know how to navigate the computer. It ain't catered to them. I didn't go out and buy my daughters a kid version of the Kindle. I got them a Kindle. They figured it out. They know how to navigate that thing. They don't need you don't need to be handheld. And that's kind of what Nintendo is still doing. They want the illusion of we have broke the chains, but they still keeping you in the chains. And this is like, no, there ain't no chains attached to me. When you buy me, is what you get, is what you figure it out, do what you want, make it fit your gaming style, make it fit you, whereas Nintendo doesn't. Nintendo's still forcing you to do it the way they want you to do it. They don't give you folders. They don't give you the freedom that this is giving you. And it's you can't make your Switch personal. And they unkilled the Mii's. When was the last time you did anything with a Mii? You know what I'm saying? Like, all the identity that made you unique is removed. It's like, it's very controlled. It's a very controlled atmosphere on the Switch. This looks like, man, make it your own.
Yeah, the last thing I want to say on this, I just hope that, and like you just said, when you really summed it up, I hope that Nintendo, whatever they're planning, that they don't come out and we're like, Valve just did that. You know what I'm saying? I want you not to just blow my socks off, but like, be serious. Like, you got to give me something, more than what they just did. They just told you this is what we can do. You got to be better than this. So even if what you already had on the drawing board, you're gonna have to rethink it. And you're gonna have to add a window, internet browser, Bluetooth audio, native voice chat. You're gonna have to add all that stuff. Everything that you were trying to pull out and put on that stupid app, you're gonna have to put that app right back into the system. I'm serious. You got to do it. You're gonna have to add some movies. You're gonna have to do something because Valve, like you just said, they just gave us an unlocked Switch that's more powerful.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't. Oh, you don't think I can play these Switch games? Let me show you. Let me hold. What they say, hold my beer. You know what I'm saying? You put your own operating system on there. Put the Dolphin on there and play your Nintendo games. Nintendo, I just hope that they blow our minds with whatever the Switch Pro or whatever the next thing that they do. But I don't want them to stray too far away from the portability. I don't want them to stray too far away from just using regular buttons. But like Level's been saying, Steam Deck has put you on notice.
Yeah, I think it's good though. I think while I'm, being honest and just being true, I think this is a good thing because competition is healthy, and
always.
And if Nintendo respond right, like you said, Keith, don't run and try to do so. Well, we got it. What can you switch? You can't do much switching right now. The Switch is where it is. You can't switch up now. You can't run back to the home console because you ain't ready to compete with PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. You ain't ready to do that. You don't want to spend the cachet, the money to make a box that's going to compete. So you gonna have to stop taking these half measures, and I ain't gonna even say Nintendo take half measures. Nintendo take half of a half measure. I don't know how to even put
it. That's a quarter, sir.
Yeah, a quarter. I think this is gonna force Nintendo. This to me is ensured to me that the Pro is coming next year, right? This is assuring it because they can't afford to not bring it. They can't afford to let this system gain a mind share. And Valve, like this ain't Google Stadia. Valve has history in gaming. They got. Ain't Valve the one who made Red Dead? Who was that? Not Red Dead, but who made
Half-Life?
Half-Life. Who made Half-Life? Ain't that Valve?
Yes, Valve. Half-Life and Portal.
So Valve got their own.
Fortress.
So they got their own games too, right?
Yes.
Now imagine, Nintendo. This ain't Stadia. This Valve is too respected to sit silence on, to be silent on. It is too respected. They got the power that the third party will want, that will make the third party say, but Nintendo has is sales. They got Switches everywhere, right? But if I gotta strip Witcher 3 down to it looking like the screen is melting, how much more are these third parties going to continue to do that?
But here's the caveat to that. They're not going to be making exclusive games to this device. They're just making games and putting them on Steam.
Right.
So it's not like that. But I hear what you're saying though.
I'm saying what I'm saying is not that it's going to be exclusive, but if I got a device out there, if it's a device out there that does what the Switch does, that I don't have, and I can get people to gravitate towards that, to get that experience in that format, who's to say these third party won't say, hey man, this is coming to the Xbox Series X, the PlayStation 5, and the Valve stream. And Switch nowhere to be found. Oh, this game only can be played at these. And you start seeing Valve Street. Why? Because they don't have to do anything. They don't have to change the code. They don't have to rework it. All they got to do is dump it. All
you do is make it for a PC.
Right.
If they make it for a PC, you made it for the Steam.
That's my point.
Yeah.
And that's all. So you don't have to call on panic button. You don't have to find a third party development studio to port it.
Isn't that ironic that their name is Panic Button? Like, hey, we need these third party games. We ain't panicking.
So that's my point. Like, no more Mortal Kombat looking terrible. No more Witcher 3. I commend Panic Button for what they did with what is that Bethesda game.
Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein and the other Doom. That's what I was
Outer
thinking.
World. Oh,
They did a good job with Doom.
Okay.
They did Outer World too?
Yeah, they did a good.
I don't know if they did Outer World. I don't know if they did Outer Worlds. Outer Worlds. I forgot who did that. My bad.
All I know is they did a good job with a lot of the games that they did. But look, this is the thing, guys. Nobody's gonna have to do that for the Valve system. You don't need Panic Button. Sad just thinking about it. You don't need Panic Button. You don't third parties trying to save money. They want to make money, but if the experience is going, if I buy it on the Switch and the experience is not what the developer really wanted you to have, but we just put it there because Nintendo is making enough money that it makes it makes sense to do it. That's why they're doing it, because Nintendo finally sold at a clip and was so prominent and popular that they couldn't deny it. EA is the only fools that wasn't taking advantage of what the Switch was. But I guarantee you, shoot, they gonna. Hey, I ain't saying the Valve gonna take off like lightning, but it definitely got potential to do something.
Yeah,
they
potential.
do. Yeah, I think it does.
It absolutely have potential.
So anyway, let's move on to the next topic. So let's cut this on out right here. Look at that thing. That thing look nice. But anyway, it's even got the same type of commercials as what the Switch is. it's doing the Switch. Anyway, bye. So this last topic. Nintendo responds to OLED Critics. So we talked about the first one where the guy, you still got that pulled up, K-Bon, where I guess somebody levied that Nintendo was basically, like I said, overpricing the Switch. You still got that article pulled up?
Yeah, I got the article.
Read some of it, and then I'll pull up the other article.
Okay, so for this article, so what happened was so Nintendo has issued an unusual statement denying the report that said the upcoming OLED version of the Switch would have higher profit margins than the regular model. The report in the question was published by Bloomberg last week and speculated that the high-end components in the OLED Switch could total around $10 per unit.
How much?
Based on estimates, $10.
So basically, $10 over what the normal Switch production. Okay, go ahead.
And then Nintendo responded by saying a news report on July 15th claimed that the profit margins of Nintendo Switch OLED model would increase compared to the Nintendo Switch. To ensure correct understanding among our investors and customers, we want to make clear that the claim is incorrect. Nintendo did not provide any information about the profit margins of either the Switch console. So that was their response, to make it clear for our investors who we want to continue to give us money, and our consumers who we want to continue to give us money. That ain't true. They tripping. It's what they said. Yeah.
Okay, so again, we kind of already touched on this, but it goes back to what I was saying last week, and I kind of want to get y'all thoughts. Get y'all thoughts on it. Do you believe Nintendo when they say that what in their denial of this criticism or this take from this guy that basically the OLED screen is basically costing Nintendo about $10 more to produce the Switch? Do you believe them?
Nintendo?
Yeah, do you believe Nintendo? Or do you believe this guy?
I don't, because I want to play the game so bad, but I'm gonna trust Nintendo on this. If they say it, they're just trying to save face. The dude is probably right for them to even come out and say it. And I know it sounds like I'm contradicting myself, but I'm gonna try to stay positive and think that Nintendo is being honest with their consumers.
Okay.
Deep breath.
K-Bum, do you believe Nintendo when they say that they're not that this dude's numbers and is inaccurate?
Man, I've been going back and forth on this. The reason why is that Nintendo Japan responded to this tweet, tweeted this out as a response. And you don't really get Nintendo Japan that much to jump out and comment. So I'm thinking, did they jump on it because they wanted to hop in front of the story because it was too damaging, or did they hop in front of it because they wanted to put an end to it because it's nonsense and we don't want this hovering over our system? And I don't know which one it is. I'm usually a person who gives someone the benefit of the doubt. That just because an article was printed doesn't mean the article is correct, and I usually try to give the business the benefit of the doubt. So based off of that, and knowing that Nintendo is usually legit, normally legit, I would have leaned towards Nintendo because Bloomberg may not fully know the inner workings and everything that it takes to make the system. I know they have their market estimates, and based on their market estimates, that's where they're coming up with these figures. But I'm gonna give Nintendo the benefit of the doubt. But the thing is, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, but I feel they're lying. So that's the two pieces being torn inside of me is that I want to say, what, you say you didn't say it, that's cool, but I know you're lying. that's how I feel.
That statement. It's like,
and that's what I want to say. Nintendo is not lying because of the way that they worded their response. They said it's not accurate. Now,
they did say that.
The question is, the dude might not have his numbers right, but the sentiments and what he's saying can still remain to be true. Nintendo could be actually developing it for $20 instead of $10 more, and still the sentiments and what the person was saying and what they was alluding to remains true. And Nintendo knows that. So to say it's not accurate, meaning it could be $12 instead of $10. It could be $10.50 instead of $10, and they can still be telling the truth while lying on the principle of what the person was saying. Nintendo, it knows that they have to get out in front of this because anybody that's a tech savvy who knows like them dudes that break these systems down and understand the chips and the CPUs and the dies and the boards. That's why Digital Foundry can make a mock PlayStation and say, based on our research and what we're hearing, they can go make a PlayStation 5 with off-the-shelf parts and say, this is about what you would get. So they know what this stuff costs. Then you take it on the flip side that Nintendo is also getting this in bulk. I will give Nintendo this one caveat, that because of the pandemic and chips being harder to come by, it might be more expensive to make the Switch than it originally was. But you best believe that $50, like Tiger King said, is being thrown at you so that Nintendo can make what they've been making off the Switch. So whatever those chips and those shortages has hit Nintendo with. Nintendo put that cost off on us to keep making the profit that they make. They could have took the loss and probably instead of making $80, $90 on the Switch, they would have been making $60, $50, $60 on the Switch. But they put that cost on us to keep making the 90, to keep making the 100 or whatever they making on the Switch. So that $350 is to not lose a dime on with all the pandemic hits and all that type of stuff and the addition of the OLED screen. Nintendo put all that on the fan base because they greedy. Facts, not fiction. I know y'all don't like me saying this because I'm supposed to be the resident Nintendo guy along with Keith Norris. But the truth is the truth, folks. They gaming you to keep lining their pockets when they can still be making money and do you right. And that's what the person was saying. And that's why Nintendo got to get out in front of it. Because if any true depth of diving was put into it, it will unearth realities that Nintendo don't want out there. Then you bring Valve system on the scene and you see that powerful beast for $399. Woo! Nintendo is in a tough place right now. But so that's go ahead. I'll bring up the other
no, I'm just saying I like the way you put that. That you reading between the lines. I think that's a excellent job of just reading what Nintendo was saying and what they weren't saying. All they said was this is incorrect, but how incorrect is it?
Yeah, they didn't say nothing that the boy was because they didn't deal with the premise of they didn't deal with the purpose of what he was saying, why he was saying what he's saying. They didn't deal with that because they could have came out and said no, he's wrong. We're not overpricing the Switch. Yeah. This is why.
Yes.
No, they didn't do that. They just said his numbers are inaccurate. That could go anywhere. Okay, what that mean? You know what I'm saying? So
that's funny.
So anyway, let me. So this is the next one.
That's a good point. I like that.
Nintendo says hate the Switch. Hate the Switch is actually the question. Hate the Nintendo Switch OLED? Question mark. Stick with the current Switch. Then says Nintendo. So basically, in this article from Tech Radar. The complaints from the fan base around the pricing and the lack of upgrades to the Switch OLED, Nintendo basically says, and it said basically Nintendo's manager of product marketing has advised to stick with the current Switch if the Switch OLED doesn't light your fire.
Oh Lord!
You know what this reminds me of?
Yep.
It reminds me of the same nonsense that what was his name?
Maddox.
Maddox, yeah, something like that. When they was saying about the Xbox One, and he said, well, about the old people overseas and the DRM.
And submarine.
Yeah, then play the then buy a 360. I don't know who this guy is that they got who said this, who works for Nintendo. It don't seem to be a higher up. I don't think it was a higher up. This ain't Bowser or nobody like that. But that's not a good look. That's not a good look, man. Dan Matrick. There it is. Thank you, Tiger King. Dan Matrick. That is not a good look. Woo, that's not a good look. You can't do that, Nintendo. You can't do that. Stick with the old. You can't.
Ooh, Lord.
That's not good. Keith, come on in here, man. Give me your thoughts on that.
I don't know because it's true.
It is true, but you can't say that. You can't say that.
But it's true though.
It is.
It's true.
It's true.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with what he said, but you're right. You as a manager of marketing or whoever he is, you have to you have to use your words a little more tactful than that. But it's true. I mean, all you
crying
get,
over her.
but I mean, what does that say about the device? You know what I mean? Like the device. Oh,
What does that
hey,
say about the device?
give me your $50. Give me your $50. That's give me your $50 or not. I don't care. That's what it sounds like. Nintendo said, I don't care if you buy this thing or not. And they kind of right in that aspect too, because the Switch is what at 88 million sold right now. Like they can literally stop selling it right now and be good for the whole generation. So it's true, but yeah, you can't say that.
You can't say that, man. Like, why put a product out there if you don't want to sell it? I
Right.
mean, I, I I feel you level. It does sound similar to what was said there, and that is the reason why the PS4 had as much steam as it did was because of that fumble, that whole incident, and everything that came with that. And that's why Sony had so much momentum going into the PS4, and they broke pre-order records out the wazoo because of those stupid comments. And Nintendo's in a good spot right now, right? They're making money. Because every time we come to Nintendo, there's one thing I always think about. They are the only ones who is only a video game company. That's why I keep telling myself that Sony is PlayStation is a division in Sony. Xbox is a division in Microsoft. Nintendo is a gaming company, right? And so they have to do some things different because they can't afford to just take losses left and right because they don't have another department really to make up the losses, right? The majority of the money and budget is spent on the gaming portion of Nintendo. Nintendo has other portions, but the main portion of Nintendo is game. It's a gaming company, and so they do things a little bit different. And that's been kind of their stitch. Their spot is just doing things a little bit different. But you can't you can't do this though. You can't put a product out and then downplay your product. I mean, it doesn't make sense, man. It doesn't build confidence in your consumers. It doesn't build confidence in your investors. When you
It don't build confidence.
when you spend money for you tell them to just buy the old one. No, you're just giving me a better screen so I can look at 24 frames per second on a better screen. Like,
But
what are you doing to me?
but K-Bomb, that wasn't even the question. It says, does it run games any better? You didn't even have to give that information up. No, it doesn't run any games better.
Oh, I didn't even notice they said that.
He just asked us, did it run games? You Biden, K-Bomb. He just said, does it run any games better? Kind of like, are we going to get better frame rates? I mean, we know what he's asking. Is it going to get better frame rates? So on and so forth. No, it doesn't do that. That's all it is. No, that's not what it's for. If you don't like it, just get the regular screen. What? Were you hurt? Were you offended?
Yeah, you got to come. You got to go back out and come back in, K-Bone. You roboting on us, ghosting on us. You like an old girl in Ant-Man 2. What is that? What was she doing? Phasing. But yeah, Keith Gomes. Yeah, you. That's interesting. I didn't even think that. I forgot that he did say that he did answer that question. But
yeah, I was just reading it. Like, why you even get that information up? Like, nobody even. You fired, sir. You're gonna get fired. Nintendo don't play about their marketing and how you speak. You saw Reggie was a complete robot. He knew. I'm not gonna say nothing messed up about Nintendo before and after. He still talk good about Nintendo.
That's what I was going to say about what K-Bum said. Nintendo tends to be up and up. Like, no, you know what D2K said? Nintendo be lying. Nintendo lies, man. But I would say Yeah, that dumb matrix. That's what I thought when I read that. I was like, ooh, Nintendo, no. So I'm pretty sure whoever said that is probably hearing it. Probably hearing it right now. Hey, somebody hearing it, cause that should have never happened. You know that should have never happened. I don't know who said it. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
He should have just stuck with the truth. Does this one run games better? No, it doesn't run games better. It just has a better screen, a bigger screen. Boom, done. You don't even have to brick. It's crazy.
Any other? Go ahead, K-Bomb. You got something else to add?
Do I sound better? Do I still sound like a
robot?
robot?
You sound good. You sound good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nah, it was just, that's hilarious to me, man. That was just, and the way Keith put it, he didn't even answer the question. that hurt. But no, I don't have anything else to put on this. I don't know. I just don't know what. I don't know. I don't know what they're trying to do right now. What they're trying to accomplish right now as far as Nintendo. I think they need to. The success has been good for them, but I hope it doesn't, breed bad behavior, right? Or breed bad results because of the success. I hope they can capitalize on it, but they have issues. Their system has issues, and they have not chosen to address those issues that their consumers are requesting, and that can lead to trust issues and bigger problems. So we'll see.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm doing something. Go ahead, Keith. I'm doing something real quick because I want to bring this last video in. I'm trying to edit it up real quick. So go ahead and add some more thoughts to it. Then I have what I'm doing done.
Yeah, just to kind of spitball here after what Kayvon just said. It's like, yeah, you're clearly not listening to your consumers, because I'm a consumer, and that ain't what I asked for. I didn't ask for a bigger screen. I asked for, I want to play Zelda at a higher level. I want this Zelda, and we still can. I mean, we don't know what next year holds, but yeah, this is kind of, I don't know, because like you said, with the trust thing, you got something else on the way. If you got something else on the way, and then you're gonna ask those same people who possibly bought the other one to buy this one, that's not a good look either. So they talking from a they really holding their chest like, oh, we got this. Y'all, you don't know what's coming. Don't put your foot in your mouth, basically.
Don't.
Yeah, to me, it sounds like a frustration response. It's like, that's what it sounded like to me. It sounded like a person who was frustrated and didn't have anything to work with. They couldn't defend it. Like, if you could defend, okay, the OLED or the OLED switch, it sounded like whoever was being questioned or whatnot could not find any way to defend it, and whatever the fuss or the question was, they couldn't find a way to answer it without, because that's what happened to Don Matrick. He didn't have a comeback for the press on what, the criticism of the Xbox One, and I think the DRM, and having to have online. When they was pressing him about it, he had no comeback. So out of frustration and arrogance, he said, "Well, buy the 360. If you don't agree," and that's what it sounded like here. They don't have a comeback for this. They was just hoping everybody would be rose-colored glasses over the OLED screen, and now that they're getting a little pushback, They haven't been trained. They haven't been what's the word? Prepped on how to answer these questions. That's what it is. Whoever they was not pressed, and he was getting frustrated, and there was a response of frustration. Yeah. That's all that was. Go ahead. I'm about to upload this Nickelodeon brawl, and give me a second. But yeah, that's what I think. It was a response out of frustration. It was not thought out. Whoever this person was, like I said, wasn't prepped on how to answer that question. They just wasn't. So where's this thing at? But go ahead. Whoever wanna add some more thoughts, and then I'm gonna get this right.
We'll see. We'll see what the fallout is. I don't think the fallout for this is going to be as extreme as the Xbox.
Heck no.
Xbox One. But I definitely think this is still going to be impactful for them. But I don't see it being as impactful. But it may be a collection of missteps that may lead to a bigger issue, right?
Okay.
And because I don't want to bring. I'm not saying what I'm about to say. So let me say that I'm not saying what I'm about to say, but Sega did the same thing before they went out of business. They started to make all these iterations that didn't really do anything that no one really cared for and no one really bought. And I'm not saying Nintendo is going to become Sega anytime soon, but they need to be careful with their steps of putting but I don't even know if the OLED is not wanted by people, if it's not selling like hotcakes. I don't know that. I haven't seen the numbers yet for it, but they just have to be careful because that was the trend that kind of put Sega towards the end of his life, was kind of putting stuff out there that no one really wanted, that no one really purchased. So I don't know. I don't think Nintendo has that issue. As I'm saying, I'm not saying what I'm saying, but you just have to be mindful that, especially when your income and what you do as a company is a gaming company, and so that's where you expect to make your money from.
Any other thoughts on this before we go to this last Nickelodeon and give our thoughts on it and get on out of here? We pushing right over 2 hours, 2 hours and 7 minutes. So I don't want to make it too long, but we do have it.
Yeah, let's move.
All right. So this happened. That's my boy right there. I'm a big fan of Michelangelo. So I found this interesting, and Keith kind of was it Keith or you, K-Bo? I think one of y'all said we should talk about this.
I believe that was Keith.
And I'm gonna be honest. I'll start this one real quick and get my thoughts. It looks good, and I would say Nickelodeon might be. They got the character recognition to be able to pull this off. Sponge, they coming with Hey Arnold, SpongeBob, who else? Helga,
Turtles.
The Turtles, like
Rugrats.
Right. This is not
Cat Dog, I think.
This is not PlayStation All Stars. I know the question what I was gonna ask is this PlayStation All Stars, or will it succeed? I believe it got the potential to succeed because the IP is strong. The IPs is what makes Smash Brothers so legit, is because of the characters that you're playing. Nobody cares about playing Twisted Metal. Nobody cares about playing Nathan Drake in a Smash. Nobody. As dope as Nathan Drake is, he outside of that game, ain't nobody caring about playing as Nathan Drake. He ain't as big of a character. Now Kratos is, but I don't think PlayStation had enough power behind the characters to pull off a game like this, but Nickelodeon does. These are iconic characters, and it looks amazing. It reminds me of, do y'all remember this game called Clay Fighters?
Yep. Yes.
That's what it reminds me of and how it looks. It reminds me of the zany, goofy, weird, odd nature that Clay Fighters was, but it was a heck of a fighting game. And it was, if you didn't play it, you didn't know, dang, this game is really funny and really good. And that's what I'm kind of seeing here with these characters. Like, we know all these people. And it looks good. And it has the IPs to possibly pull it off. To really possibly give, and this again, Nintendo, it could give us a run. I ain't gonna say it's better, it would be better than Smash, but it's definitely got the IP power to compete. That's what I would say. It looks good though. It looks really good.
Yeah,
and it's fresh. It's fresh. That's another thing about it. It got a freshness to it that even though Smash is always exciting to see more Smash. It really ain't fresh, if that makes sense. So this got a fresh feel to it. But go ahead, Keith.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you with the IPs. There was a lot of characters I didn't even know. Like, I don't know, some little kid with white hair, not Danny Phantom, but the other one.
Now, I don't know all of them, but I know most of them.
Yeah. So they didn't try to change the formula. PlayStation All-Star tried to change the formula and try to make it more of a fighter, I think, where you had to finish people off with the finisher move, or you can beat them. I don't know. I can't remember. I didn't play it, but I remember hearing that they tried to change the formula. Whereas this one looks like it's Smash Brothers, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying like, oh, they copying Nintendo. We'll start it out the window, obviously, but this one looks like it's more geared to like, hey, why mess with the formula? It's all about the IP. The IP is what you want. It's what Level's been saying. The IP is what you want. So why even mess with all that? Since we can't get our characters in their game, let's just make our own game. And there's no law that says that we can't make a brawl. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We can make a brawl. So let's do it. So I think this is going to be pretty nice. I'm going to play it. Play it with my boys. It looks fun. It looks cool, and like you said, it looks like a breath of fresh air because you know what you're gonna get from when you see like Smash Bros. You already know, but with this, it's like, hey, Helga, Leonardo, you know what I'm saying? Like, like you know, Sandy Cheeks. I didn't even know her last name was Cheeks.
Cheeks.
But yeah, SpongeBob, like it's cool.
And I'm gonna say this. Now, Smash Brothers is a beautiful looking game.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to be honest with you. It don't look like this. Let me explain. Because I feel the silence and the... Wait a minute, man. Smash Brothers 1080p. But look at the... Like... Nintendo gonna have to embrace some power. It's just at the point because their competition is catching up with the formula. They figuring out how to do it. That's what Nintendo has had over everybody else with these type of games is nobody knew that formula. Nobody knew how to capture that Nintendo magic. They figuring it out, people. They catching up. Yeah. I'm not saying this is going to be better than Smash. It's probably not. But it probably ain't going to be far behind. So the next iteration and the next iteration, but they going to give you the power that PlayStation and all these systems have. This is going to be on the Switch. Right. But look how vibrant this is. I'm not saying that Smash Brothers is not vibrant. But there's a level of detail that I'm seeing from this game, man. The draw distance, the shadows, the pixel count, and I know I'm getting technical, but at this point we have been doing this for so long, we can't help but do it. They have kind of the digital foundries and all of them have kind of conditioned us to do this. When I see this game, man, I'm seeing details that I don't see in Smash. I'm seeing draw depth and details in the background and the speed and the
True.
It's well done. And I like the fact that they using the old school 80s Ninja Turtles, not these new variations, but the old school versions are art designs of them, are character models. So, yeah, man, look, people are catching up. I said this with Super Lucky Tales came out. No, it's not Mario, but Super Lucky Tales is not a bad game. This is not going to be a bad game. You can look at a game and tell it's not going to be bad unless they do something stupid but just looking at it, it looks like these characters should be in Smash. That's what it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah.
These characters should be in Smash. And they look interesting. They look funny. They look zany. It looks over the top. It looks far out there. It's SpongeBob, it's Patrick, it's Sandy, it's Zim, it's Phantom, it's Leonardo, it's Michelangelo, and then there's a whole bunch of other characters that from the lore of Nintendo. What is it? Hey Arnold, Grandpa, and like we grew up on these characters just like we grew up on Nintendo. Matter of fact, they go into characters that we ain't seen in several years, like Nintendo bringing out a watch, what is that? Game and Watch as a character. Like I don't know who this Lincoln Cloud is, but I do know who that dude right there is. So, like they said, it's not going to be as many characters in this first one, but I don't see this game failing. I think it has appeal to it, good appeal. I don't see it failing. I'm telling you, I want to play it. I remember that cartoon was when I was about 15, 16 when that cartoon was out on Nickelodeon. So hey man, I ain't mad at them at all. Somebody need to squeeze Nintendo, man. It's time for Nintendo to be squeezed again. I'm proud of the success of the Switch, but Nintendo getting comfortable, and they need to be squeezed because I don't want a Wii U. I don't want another Wii U because they do that. They get comfortable, and they don't give us what we want. But these other companies are catching up. And there's other Smash type games out there that's in the eShop that's really good. So this company, this ain't the first time they have made a Smash like game. Now they got the IPs of Nickelodeon to match what their engine. And some of those, I'm gonna be honest with you, some of those other games, I can't name all of them, but I played one on the Switch, and they had their own characters. It was like a toad and a chicken and all that, and they had Nacho Libre, not Nacho Libre, but yeah, that game was good. The only thing that was a problem with that game is the characters that you was playing, you wasn't familiar with them. And then they had what is that game? What is that game?
No, sure, I got it over.
It's Libre, something Libre, ain't it?
Guacamelee.
Guacamelee, yeah. It had the Guacamelee character in it. And that was the only known character in the whole roster. But the way the game played, it had stuff in it that Smash didn't do. Now, it had a lot of stuff that Smash does that it didn't do, but it had its own take on Smash-like games, and it was a really good game. Me and my son played it all the time. And I say this even over Smash because it was a way that it played that I liked, that I felt like I had a little bit more control. Whereas Smash is got a learning curve to it that people don't really realize. There's a depth to Smash in that simplicity. There's a depth to it that's hard to get. And this game wasn't like that. I was able to get it in a way that I have never been able to get Smash. And so I'm interested in who's making this game. Because with these IPs being on top of their engine, they could give Smash a run for its money. I ain't gonna say it's gonna beat it. Ain't too much gonna beat Mario Kart and Smash Bros. But Crash Racing wasn't a bad racing game though. Whilst Sonic Racing is still out here. It ain't Smash Bros, but it's still selling. It's still a popular game. So this game can find room in that space, especially on the PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series X, where they don't have Smash. You know what I'm saying? So don't sleep on this game. When I saw it, I was shocked by it. I was really impressed by it. To be honest with you. Absolutely. Any other thoughts?
Who else could do this type of game? I know that opened up a whole new can of worms, but I'm just curious.
I don't know. I have no idea who else could do it.
Cartoon Network.
Oh, I ain't think about that. Yeah, you're right. I thought you were talking about developers like some developments. You talking about network like Cartoon Network definitely can do it. Definitely.
I hope they don't do it. I don't want to oversaturate
it. Because Cartoon Network is Dexter's Laboratory,
Johnny Bravo,
Powerpuff Girls, Donnie Bravo. You right. You doggone right. So can do it. Shoot. It's characters that the Nickelodeon ain't even bringing out.
Yes, sir.
So
you still got Avatar.
Avatar, Cat Dog.
The last
Cat Dog. What's that other one that they had? I don't know who has Ren and Stimpy. Who was that? Was that Nickelodeon at one time? Who was that?
That's Nickelodeon. That's where that toast powder toast man come from.
Okay.
So that means Ren and Stimpy got to be in the game.
I don't know if they will, but they can be. That's what I'm saying. And then you got what's the other game I was just thinking? The cartoon that just Rugrats. I don't think we got any Rugrat characters in here.
Thornberry. Isn't Thornberry from Rugrats?
Is it?
No.
Because I want to see Elmira. I want to see is it Elmira? Is it
Eliza?
What's the girl in Rugrats? The oldest girl. What's her name?
Oh, Angelica.
Like I would love to see Angelica and so yeah, like these are iconic characters. these are totally iconic characters, man. And like look at Sandy. Look, like we know who these people are. So yeah, it's gonna do well, folks. It's gonna do well. But anyway, with that being said, this has been the Live and Levels Gamer Podcast. We're gonna prepare to
Yes. I will have some games played for the next podcast. I apologize. Trying to be a little bit more responsible. But I will have some.
You do, man. You do you, man. Don't let the hate out there tear you down. Levelhead went like 2 months without playing games. It's all good. You got a village. I'm just saying. Man, you got to start in 5. You talking about? Hey, you got to. Okay. Yeah, it beats like that. Hey, must be nice, yes, sir. Man, it feels good. But final thoughts. No, it was good, man. I enjoyed the podcast. I get excited now, man. I get excited for Thursdays to get on the podcast with my boys to chop it up, especially after we go through a few rounds of See, if you guys think we are nice and chummy, but you should be in some of these group chats. It gets real in these group chats. We be going at throats. Man. Steph Curry and it ain't gonna be. Mm-mm. Oh Lord have mercy. Let's we good. We good. No, hey, I get amped, sir. I get amped. That's
It's
funny.
fine. I guess getting to know. Hey man, what you think about LeBron?
Don't get nothing done. Bing! Oh, man. Hey, you already know level gonna send the same message twice. One with all the messed up words and one with the spell check after he got done being mad and actually read over it. Oh, it's hilarious. Oh man. Man, yeah it is. Yeah it is. Deuces.
Peace.